By the end of this video, you are going to understand why it is that most businesses fail and the best strategy you can take to increase your chance of success. So, there was a stat I was looking at, and it says that every year 100 million businesses are started. In year 1, 20% fails. By year 5, about half of them has failed, and by year 10, 65% of them have failed. And as the year go by, more and more even fail. You can't really guarantee 100% success in business. You can only reduce your risk or increase your chance of succeeding. So this is how we're going to increase our chance of succeeding. We're going to implement a particular law to help us make better decisions in business. But you first need to understand what this law is about. Okay, the name of the law is Pareto's principle, power law or Pareto's principle. And it was discovered in 1896 by an Italian economist. What he saw in his hometown, his country, saw that of everybody that owned land and all the land owned, he noticed that 20% of landowners own 80% of all the land. And in his garden, of all the fruits produced, 20% of his crops produce 80% of the fruits. And if we leave Wilfredo Pareto and look at the world as a whole, you'd also realize that 20% of human settlements, towns and cities, house is home to 80% of humanity as a whole. If you look at a country, let's use Nigeria. The most populated states are Kano and Lagos. Every other place is sparsely populated, while just Kano and Lagos is densely populated. So you can see this unequal distribution everywhere. One thing you need to understand about Pareto is that there's an unequal distribution. The second thing I need you to understand is this. The difference between the 20% and 80% is not 1 times or 2 times. It's by a mile. It's very wide. It's like 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times, or even more. So what that means is, when you win a lot. So in society, there's really no poor, low average, high average, and rich. It is average and very, very rich. There's really no in between. 2 ways you can apply it in businesses. If you've not started a business already, look for business that have the potential of being among the 20%. So it means you need to be very, very, not just decisive, but you have to have some type of foresight. So when I say foresight, you want to see 5 years from now, 10 years from now, what is humanity as a whole going to need? Most of these companies that are in the 20%, you can see that very few companies have a very large market cap, while the rest are being shared by the remaining companies and businesses in the world. So for you to actually be among that 20%, right, you have to look at where humanity is going. Okay, look at technological advancement, right? Look at trends and big massive changes and position your business to exploit those things. Most of these companies are technology companies. If you don't want to take that route and you've already started a business already, understand that in your business there's an unequal distribution of input and output. So if you look at it, a very small percentage of your customers give your business most of the money it makes comes from that small percentage. If you look at your product features, a very small percentage of your product features or the things in your service give your customer the most value. It is not, see, the 80-20 principle, the 20-80%, it is not always approximately 80-20, but 80-20 is just easy to remember. But this is it. A very small percentage will give you more of the return. If you can identify that small percentage, okay, it gives you an advantage because you can redistribute your resource, work more on them, and if you do that, it's a good long-term strategy for business success and business growth.